World Mixed Double Curling Championships 2015 from the Ice Cube Curling Arena in Sochi's Olympic Park. It was just a bit more than a year ago. We had the Olympic Games in this very same place. And today we're going to give you the game between Austria and Sweden. My name is Sarah Carlson and I am joined by the ever so friendly Sander Relvog.
Well, good afternoon, Sarah. We're going to take a look at some of the standings before we get started here. We'll see Finland, Norway and Sweden so far undefeated at 2 wins each. And Austria just following after with the 1 win, 1 loss, along with China and the Italians and Latvia. The 3 bottom teams with no win so far is Brazil, New Zealand and Slovenia, and some of the teams of course out there playing the straw as well. For Austria at female we have Anna Weghuber, male player is Markus Schagerl and team coach is Manfred Weghuber.
And for Sweden, silver medalist from last year Camilla Johansson, Per Norén and coach Mikael Andersson.
Well, just about to get started here. We'll have a look at the rules.
Yeah, mixed doubles is 2 players, 1 male, 1 female. 6 stones in each end, but you play 5 because 1 is pre-placed. We have 22 minutes of thinking time and they play 8 ends. And the players will play either the stones 1 and 5 or 2, 3 and 4. But they are allowed to switch positions in between ends. Both players can sweep and no takeouts until the 4th stone of each end, which normally makes for very aggressive curling, lots of freezes, tapbacks and angles. And here we are inside the Ice Cube Curling Arena. Both teams had a draw to the button challenge at their practice. And it is Sweden that's going to have hammer. They had a very good draw. They're going to play yellow and Austria is going to start. And male player for Austria, Markus Schagerl. And what is their first shot, Sander?
Well, first shot will most likely be the freeze attempt. We'll see the pre-placed stones in a few seconds here. We'll have the red center guard and of course 1 yellow stone just behind the T-line in the 1 foot. So that's a bit of a missed attempt from Marcus, trying to freeze on to the yellow. Kind of bounces off the guard and will allow Sweden to have an early chance of lying 2.
Yes, Per Norén is a male player for Sweden. He's going to draw around. Like to sit maybe top 8 foot with this, overlap his own shot stone a little bit. It's really, the tolerance for that first stone is really, it needs to come around the guard. If you have hammered, splitting the guard isn't a bad option, but this is a great opportunity for Sweden, and it looks like he's got some really good stone. And it's not going to be easy to draw in here because of the red guard. So she needs to draw to the other stone. She does a nice job, taps it all the way back. But there's quite a lot of room here, which means that Sweden will have some room for error as well.
Vet du lägga någonting där eller vad? Nej. Spela eventuellt styra så här igen då.
Vill du bara ha dragningen dit?
Aha, fart här ungefär.
Ja.
So just a draw. Camilla Johansson, player for Sweden, also plays. She has been playing women's curling this year with Sigfridsson's team in the Swedish Championships and the Swedish League. She's had a busy season. And how do you like that shot?
Yeah, I think that's a really good shot. Removes the red stone from top of the 8. just sort of controlling the front of the house for Austria. Pushes it back at the tee, and of course leaves the shooter in a nice spot behind the guard. Only lying one, but looking good for Sweden so far.
Yeah, Anna's going to try the takeout now on the shot stone. They're going to try and sit two. Really important to hang around with their shooter and try and leave it in a good place. And that is a great result. Even manages to sit two with big separation, no double available.
Mycket ser av den!
5 centimeter!
Spela sarg då!
So Sweden just integrating a bumper weight, trying to come through the hole with the guards. Try and push that red shot stone out.
It's quite a different mixed doubles end from what we're used to seeing. Just because that first center guard was split, we're seeing a complete different setup. It's not crowded in the forefoot like it normally is.
It's almost more like a normal curling end. This one not curling enough for Camilla Johansson, and shooter will spin out all the way through, still leaving Austria lying two.
Yeah, I can hear them saying they thought it was going to curl more. And this is normally, when you practice mixed doubles, you normally play from outside and in, and then you don't really know what the ice is going to do when you go the other direction. So I guess it's a learning progress.
The experience I have is you get a lot of swing towards the center line, sometimes just inside the forefoot lines. You don't necessarily get as much movement. I'm not sure if that's the case here, but we'll keep an eye out.
The shot stone is definitely in the open now, but the question is, where do you want to roll?
Vill du spela samma hand? Om vi håller oss till mjuk normal då. Japp! Stenhårt! Stenhårt! Kom igen då! Lite till! Ja, det är bra.
Who made an adjustment with the ice? Not sitting shot, but they have 3 yellows. They're going to force Marcus to play a draw. He really needs to be accurate with this one.
Yeah, I think that was probably the biggest thing with that shot from Sweden is just putting a lot of pressure on Austria to make this shot. If you were ever to come up short with this one, Sweden would have a chance to score 4. Seeing how that red stone is in the open. So even though if he's not fully buried here, just really needs to be in the 8-foot.
Länge, 7.
Aufpassen! Aufpassen, ist noch sehr weit! Ist noch sehr weit! Wow!
Nice, go länger.
Wow!
So not really curling yet, and Marcus calling it a bit long. Needs to stick around in the 8-foot, and it looks like he's done the job.
Sorry.
Yeah, and doesn't look like there's an easy double for Sweden, really.
I think Per is going to have a look anyway. He really likes these shots, but I'm not sure the angle's really there for the red one to go anyway.
I've seen him call a few crazy shots in mixed doubles before.
får vi svingen, alltså vi ska ju trycka den en sten. Vi måste gå nära den. Om vi håller den på sop då. Jag tror vi ska ta lite mindre.
Ja, men den här är väl helt okej?
Ja.
Are they thinking they might be lying second shot here, Sarah?
Lite mindre
Or-
bara.
He's been looking at them, so it might not be impossible. Maybe the angle we're seeing it from isn't really spot on.
That is often the case. I think, well, they were discussing just tapping the red stone back a little bit, and we might just see a measure then for the second point. But you see it's more than over-buried, so it's really hard to get to it. So maybe just throwing T-line weight here, and if they get the line, you can sweep it on to the red.
Yeah, scoring one is definitely the
Nej.
main thing.
Bra linje nu. Kom igen då! Kom igen då!
Working it for weight here. How far can he bounce the red? I don't think far enough.
But that was a good effort.
Man visste att han kommer så mycket skulle man ha slagit på den hela vägen.
Ja.
Sweden will score one in the first end.
Fina med avfångar.
Ja.
Direkt tryck
Fast det
5
är
till.
för
En sån där så kanske, om man ser att han kommer att gå på garden ända här ute, kanske du ska ut och hjälpa till. Ja, men den där har vi kanske klara med lite mer sop. Jag trodde egentligen inte att den skulle vara ända dit, men
One Sweden. One for Sweden.
Now they've debated every possible situation with that last stone, and Per Norén once again in the hack getting ready to throw. It will be Austria with the last stone advantage in the second end.
Well, saw them play a lot on our live coverage when, at least when I was doing commentary a couple of years ago in There's a Room, and I was really impressed with how they communicate on the ice. Very, cool, calm, and collected, and just being able to discuss everything without, any aggression showing, and no real arguing or anything. It's a really healthy way to be out on the ice, and I think it's harder for couples, girlfriends, and married people to do that, perhaps.
Yeah, they're doing a really great job, but they're also two very experienced curlers. Look at that freeze, it's absolutely perfect. So both of them have the knowledge, and both of them can play really well, so it was just a good setup.
I've seen Per Norén make those freezes so many times before. So accurate with it.
Ja, Richtun.
It'll be interesting to see if that Yellowstone sticks around for the whole end. We've seen that a few times in mixed doubles curling, so I think maybe the main thing for Austria here is to tap this up and maybe free up the back red.
Yeah, I mean, the freeze is a really good shot, but if you can get a little bounce like that, that's really nice. To get some separation, get the yellow one off the backing, it's going to help you a lot.
Yep, nice couple of shots here.
bara
in the second
ner
end.
emot. Ytterst lite dutt, okej.
Ja.
Any chance you'd like to tell us what's going on elsewhere in the Ice Cube Curling Centre today, Sarah?
There is a chance. Latvia is playing Slovenia, and Latvia scored 3 in the first end. New Zealand got 1 point against Brazil.
Yep.
China scored 1 in the first end against Italy, and Sander, you'll be happy to know that Finland started off with that Norway started off with 3 points against Finland.
Yeah.
Magnus is feeling a lot better today, I've heard.
Yeah, apparently he was drinking some of the tap water. It's maybe not working too well with the Norwegian immune system.
Känns det var på pinnen, men
We had them on the
det
broadcast
känns inte som att man ska vara
last
så där
night.
lite is eller?
and he was struggling a bit out there, but looking better today, playing Kalle and Katja Kiskinen, just next to our featured sheet.
And Camilla Johansson has left an opening here for Anna Weghube.
Ja, fest. Jetzt schon, fest.
Still just a 1 in the rings.
Ist 5.
Voll durch, fest.
7.
Fest.
7.
Fest.
She needs to hold the line here. Would really like to tap this up, but she's going to wreck on the guard as well.
Ja.
Still rolls it into a really nice spot.
Yeah, a lot of reds gathering up in the house here, so if you're Sweden, you're going to be a little bit careful.
Prova bara dra han hit igen då, eller här. Jag tror att det händer någonting om vi gör så här. Då blir den här bakom. Här är okej.
Ja.
Also discussing the tolerance for every shot here, the Swedes. Per Norén just saying if they pull up 4 feet short here, it's not too bad. But initially looking for the freeze.
Bra guard.
Japp.
Det är bara guard.
Ja, släpp han då.
And Camilla Johansson maybe just focusing a bit too much on the tolerance of the shot, pulling up way short. He's going to leave that a long guard.
Förra som vi spelade här, den har nog inte orkat fram den heller.
Nej, jag sa 12-8.
Ja, men den här som du hakar med, den som du hakar med, den har nog inte orkat fram den heller. Jag tänkte så att jag hade den att jämföra med.
Erlänger 7.
Wow.
8.
Muskeln.
8.
Ab.
Bremst.
Ab.
8.
Ab. Ja, it's long.
So close. If that was to ever make it by the guard, would have been a great result for Austria. They would have really tapped that apart. Looked like she had some good weight. Still the same situation in the rings. Sweden still need to be a bit careful with this. Time to get one in there.
Ingenting. Aldrig röra.
Lite kort kvar.
This one also hanging wide. And well, while it's another one in there, it over curls. They're gonna freeze or play backline kind of tap weight on this. I wouldn't mind seeing them throw a bit more weight to really get that yellow one moving.
Kürzer, aber trotzdem 8.
Wow, warte mal.
9. 9.
Wow. Yup. Fist.
And what has she got? It's a good shot. They're lying 1, and do you think they're also lying 2, Sander?
It's hard to tell.
Per Norén seems to think they're sitting 2, and the angles are pretty good for them as well.
Yeah, if Austria would ever play nose hit on the top red, both the yellows would be flying, and it would leave a lot of red stones. So Sweden's going to have to do something about it.
Vi vill ju inte gå upp i den här.
Det är så här att den där garden, den där ute får du inte röra. För då kan man ju smälla den här. Men jag tänkte om man spelar så här och en mjuk. Går vi bara gluggen på den här, då känns det att man kan ta bägge.
Så.
Big shot
Får
here
inte gå för
for
nära för den här heller, vi måste hålla oss där ute.
Per.
Det är den där röda vill jag gå nära.
Ja.
Yeah, great shot if she makes it though.
Yeah, it could be disastrous if
If
it
you
was to overcurl this.
wreck on the card,
Yeah,
could be
yeah.
really
Det kan
bad.
ju hända att det blir nästan normal.
I like his communication here. They've decided on a soft weight, normal, and then it could happen that I'm almost going to play normal. So I think he just knows that he wants to play this with a bit more weight, make sure that he can control the line. He could get the double here, but this one's not moving at all.
Well, what's he got here?
Ut den, va?
Maybe choked off the in-turn, at least.
Wir müssen den eigentlich.
Mal den dort
I'm not sure if
weg.
Austria can get to the top red, like we were discussing earlier.
Da, da. Ja, das geht in
You're
der
looking at it though.
Also wenn
See.
du mit einer
Well,
Ja, da vorbei.
it might be able to come through on the in-turn here.
Schneller.
9, weil schneller, weil muss curlen auch.
Aber ich kann da von da auch
Or
springen.
can they play enough weight
Nee.
Sicher.
to make
Also
the
du musst
yellows
den
move?
haben.
Nein, da drauf.
I guess they could also tap their
Das würde nicht
the first red that we
Weil
see
wenn
on the
der-
screens here.
dass der angeht.
Ja, dann geht er auch. Aber die Chance hat.
Ich kann es nicht von der Seite spielen. Okay.
I guess if they get through the hole, they might be able to score 5, at least 4. And there's no real risk playing the shot either.
Wie schnell spielst du?
Ja, ich
We
spiele
wreck
aber
on
nur
either guard,
Control.
but doesn't seem to be a huge gap there.
No, but Anna really set them up with her tap on her
good.
last. All the angles are really in Austria's favor and already sitting 2.
Just come as tight as you can to the longest guard with as much weight as you can. Pretty
Sauber,
much.
ja. Ja. Ja.
Last
Wow.
stone of the second end.
Ja. Ja, ist an der Gas.
Tough shot
Ist
for a
an
big
der Gas.
score. But this one has caught the curl early. Will crash on the guard, but I do think it's going to be a score of 2 for the Austrians. We're going to have a closer look. See if Camilla Johansson wants a measure or not.
And this too? Yeah. And this one I guess not.
Well, they're kicking away the rocks, meaning a score of 2 for Team Austria. So they will take the lead after 2 ends.
Sehr wurscht, das passt schon. Passt.
And so far, a tight ball game.
Magst du intern oder outturn?
Yeah, definitely a close game. We've seen a lot of we've seen a lot of nice draws and taps, but in both ends we've also seen someone wreck on that center guard, and they've gotten in trouble for it.
Sweden coming in as big favourites for this game. Not quite pulling off too much yet. About 6 ends to go. See if Austria can pull off an upset here. 52% tournament accuracy for
Hier,
Marcus.
bisschen
Ich glaube
ausgedrückt.
auch.
So playing a bit below where he wants
Sehr,
to
sehr
be.
weit. Aufpassen, jetzt curl da.
Still very early in the
Ja,
week.
wow. Wie lang?
7,
Wow,
6.
wow, wow, wow. Ja, jetzt.
Sicher.
This one having really good line. But will pull up a bit short. I think you might see Sweden just ignore the red and come around it. Try and sit 2.
Yeah, there's still enough space. Shouldn't be too difficult for Pat to sit 2 with this draw. 75% for him is good mixed doubles numbers.
Yeah, I think that's really solid. And if he can keep those numbers up for the rest of the week, I think you might see the Swedish team in the playoffs.
Yeah, they're definitely strong contenders. They've got 2 silver medals from Erzurum and Dumfries. That it seemed like he had good weight. He just overcurled a bit, and it's maybe not in the best place. But remember, Austria is still not allowed to play any takeouts. So Anna Weghuber is following this with a draw.
45% for her so far. I get the feeling that the Austrians might have had a bit of a struggle early on, but playing some better shots today. This one, however, not in that category. Pulling up way short, overcurling, and it's going to stagger the guard, leaving Sweden another chance to play the out-turn draw in line 3. So could face some big trouble here, Austria in the third end. %70 for Camilla Johansson. So when you have two players, one playing 70 and then the other 75, that's a really solid team effort.
Yep.
Calling this a bit short. They were trying to draw in a way that would serve them as both the guard and the draw, but now they really need to make sure that they bounce off a little bit to protect the Austria from making a double.
Yeah, it just seemed like both those shots we just saw came a little bit too tight to the broom, perhaps caught some fresh pebble and just kind of pulled up. Especially in mixed doubles, you very often play the same paths all the time, and those will keen up. And as soon as you go a little bit outside or inside that path, you might find some different speeds, generally slower.
Coming a bit further out now, trying to come down to the yellows.
That's a really good shot. Still lying to Sweden, but they're both in behind the tee line now as a pocket, and that red stone is in a nice spot to be tapped up later. Sweden might look at the guard.
Yeah, it might be the best call. Because even if they come around the other side, they need to be absolutely perfect, and Anna could just follow and tap again and destroy what they've just done.
Yeah, well, they're thinking they want to make the shot. Could have guarded the out-turn draw, but they would have left this in turn for Austria. But you know, if they wouldn't have made it, Sweden could just guard that side two line. Lie the two still and probably score, but Sweden not wanting to take that chance. Want to put one stone in there themselves.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a good option. I'm just not sure you want to leave the same player the same shot twice, especially when it's a shot to pretty much kill the end.
Now Camilla Johansson rubbing off the top red, and it's going to slide past. And as you said, we'll leave that tap on the red into the pocket. And then if she can make it, Sweden might have a really tough chance of scoring here. So key shot for the Austrians. Anna calling a 9, back 8 foot. It's pretty good for weight. Look, curl enough though.
I think this is going to be good if she can just curl.
Well, it's not too bad. I'm not sure. Well, it might be shot. It looks yellow from here, but
yeah, it looks yellow. But even if it's even if it is yellow, it's just really hard to score too. It's so tight in there. Panoren is asking for another setup shot. Leave one there that they can tap or use. So it's not that easy to get the angle into the 1 foot.
Yeah, if they can just lie side by side with the red stone here, maybe a half stone higher up, they can maybe slash it on their last one.
Inte ett drag.
8.
Inte ett drag. Och med. Japp, japp. 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 Så ut lite då. Fortsätt.
A bit of a miscommunication there. Johansson calling that one just in by, well,
Det ser ut som vi gick på.
Well,
was she saying 8 as in top 8 foot?
8 as in 8 foot, yes, and they
Okay.
were talking in front of the T-line, so so I think she was spot on, but Per was telling her no for line. But then he said, well, I'm changing my mind. So I think he's accepting maybe that was his mistake.
Yep. And it always confuses me a bit with the Swedes or
That
other countries
we
in
change our
general.
minds.
No, I mean when you call out number 8, if it means 8 as in behind the T-line or top of the 8 foot. Different teams use different systems for calling weight.
Daher, oder?
And one system that a lot of teams use is
Det
to
kan ryck lång Arling.
split up the playing
Come
zone
on,
into 10
Arling.
zones. 1, 2, and 3 being Algars, and then 4 would be top of the house, and 9, 10 would be back of the house. 7 being T-line. A system implemented by the famous Randy Furby rink, with the front end of Scott Pfeiffer and Marcel Rock.
Bis hier raus. Aber schaut lang aus, oder?
Ja, lang ist er nicht.
Muss nur können. Wow, wow, wow.
So Austria seeing this tap as probably the only option for Sweden to score one. And they're gonna guard it.
The question is, what is Sweden left with?
Not much.
Hey there.
Might be a double run, but
But you might always also pick your own out if you do that. Or
Ja.
Jag har ju liksom stöd av den där också.
Han ska ju träffa egentligen tunt då.
yeah,
Det
just
är
want
kul när han träffar.
play the hit that red zone just play by Austria down onto their own yellow at the top of the 8 foot,
Den här ska ju
and then
hellre
just
få
catch
curla för
the
mycket än för lite.
red shot stone as thin as possible. Try and kick it out the side door.
Du ska ju träffa lite.
It's a very difficult shot, but
yeah, but it will be cool if he makes it.
Är det här?
Minska lite. Jag lär ändå spela kanske hack, va?
yeah, we haven't seen too many of these big shots attempted so far.
No, and he's only playing hack weight. I guess he doesn't want to pick his own yellow out, but it's going to be enough just to touch it. But there's also the risk of doing a red, red, red combination if it doesn't curl enough. So hack weight maybe, not to risk too much.
Fart!
It makes this shot even more difficult playing the soft weight. With only the one sweeper. Have to be very accurate. We'll see what happens here. Tap, tap,
Wow,
tap. Wow,
look at
look
it.
at that. That's
For
amazing.
2.
Such a good shot by Per Norén. And there you go.
That's something for the shot of the week.
That's a great shot. And that's what we like to see. 2-time silver medalist. But playing like that, you might see them catch the goal this week.
Yeah, so still back in a 1-point lead at Sweden 3-2 after 3 ends. And this game is turning out to be quite exciting. Let's see if he can now compose himself again from that huge shot to calming down and once again make the perfect freeze.
Well, made the perfect freeze here 2 ends ago. Did end up conceding 2 though in the second end, even with the perfect freeze.
Yeah, the perfect freeze isn't going to help you when you don't have hammer and you end up with 2 corner guards.
Bra linje!
looking pretty good here. This time it's just going to tap it slightly, but again, just such a good shot.
Bra Per.
He's got some perfect weight control.
Yeah, line too.
Sauber.
Yeah, Marcus was very accurate the last time he was freezing here too,
Achtung, Achtung.
in this direction.
Kærligt.
Achtung.
A lot of curlers will prefer the out turn, the counterclockwise rotation. Marcus coming up a bit heavy this time, but it's not too bad there. Sits on the corner of the yellow, pushes the red one to the back of the 12.
Ist schon schneller?
No, I don't mind this at all.
Ich glaube, es ist ziemlich gleich.
Puts the pressure back on Sweden. They don't really have any backing. They need to get a good angle themselves. Camilla just wants to freeze to the nose or to the inside of the red that you just saw. Just waiting and waiting for the swing. And good job by the ice makers. It really does curl. Anna Vekuba has really made some amazing draws in this game too. This one with a big finish.
Too big.
A bit too big. We'll go behind the T-line. Behind the T-line isn't normally where you want to be in mixed doubles. It's all about controlling the top of the forefoot.
Yeah, now a nice bit of real estate for Camilla Johansson. To put her Yellowstone 2, top of the 4 would be really good here.
Ja, kom igen. Nej, lite lugn. Hur lång är den?
10.
Ja, bara rent. Bara rent. Bara rent. Japp, japp.
Wieder. Ab. Gar nichts.
8 bis 9.
Gar nichts.
Ist 9.
Ja, sauber. Ja,
9.
ja, ja, ja. Ja, fest. Fest. Ganz schön fest. 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 Fest.
Pretty much the same result this time. Tick, tick.
Yeah, it was a tough call coming through that tiny little port. She's overcurled.
This time stays in front of the T-line at least.
Prova den vägen in, Rio. Styr det lite, okej.
Sweden gonna try the same shot.
Jag tror jag provar så här ändå, jag tror det. Ingenting. Ingenting.
Det är spelfart för
Han
styrning.
hamnar där ute, där då.
A little heavy here, I think. See if they can get the end off. The little rub off the red. Well,
Jag vet inte.
couple of yellows in front at least.
Lite lång kanske också, annars är den ju nära. Så jag tror inte att den där är ju inte fel,
Nej, men
bara
den,
lite
den
lång.
ligger kvar där ute rätt
Den ligger
länge.
kvar ganska länge då.
Ja.
Man ser ju ändå curlen kommer.
I think Austria can play on their red onto the yellow.
Ja.
I think that's what Marcus is looking at.
I mean, Sweden's always going to have a whole bunch of stones to
Men
tap.
wenn man den dort treffen, ganger da nicht so schlecht.
Okay. Wie lang?
Ja, Kontrolle.
I'm thinking if
Controlled.
Ja.
I'm not quite sure if they're playing making a hit on the top yellow or directly onto the red.
They're going for the red, but they also said if they overcurl and hit the yellow, it's not so bad.
Ja.
There's
The
a
red one will still stick around.
fest.
Sorry.
there's a chance you might spin the red one off the yellow.
Ja. Fest.
And that's Well,
It was a good effort. I'm not 100% sure about the result.
yeah,
What can Sweden do here?
it's very often the case in mixed doubles. When you play a shot, you're not. It takes you a little while to just see if you're happy with the result or not. Sometimes you think it's really good, and then you have a second look, and then you realize, oh.
Yeah, she was so close. But just the sweeping call was a bit late.
Jag tror nästan alla träffar är bra.
Yeah, I think almost every way we hit it is going to be good. That's what he just said. I think so too.
Playing a hit on the top yellow.
Yes.
And at least the red stone to the back of the left will go. I'll be interested to see if they can get a lot of movement on the shot rock in front of the tee line. Big weight from Parnoren.
Nej, lugnt Camilla.
Inte ens rent.
Yeah, so that's going to stick around a little bit, but
But not the. Has he left the shot stone open? They thought they were going to be able to squeeze that red one out, but it was definitely sticking. Now Austria has a chance to tap for 2.
Normal?
Ja.
Geht es sich aus mit der Garde oder spürst du lieber controlled?
He's lucky that yellow one is sat right there. It could have been a
Sechs
shot
dafür?
for 3.
Ja.
Und spürst du lieber controlled?
Is it?
Normal?
I think the top yellow is out counting the back red. We'll just have to see. Last stone here of the 4th end. Looking to score a couple.
Nur sauber ganz weg, sehr, sehr weit. Wow!
Anna calling this really wide.
It's really heavy too.
Yes.
And that's not going to be anywhere close to making contact with the yellow.
Surprised he threw that so hard. You think he'd take the weight down and get the curl, and but mistake perhaps for the coach to discuss. After 4 ends, Sweden will have a 2-point lead, 4-2. And we will be back just before the second half of the game with some highlights. So in the first end of the game between Sweden and Austria, Per Norén had a tricky tap to score 2. And he's very close to making it, but a nice draw nonetheless, and Sweden will pick up 1 point in the first end. In the second end, Anna Weghuber made a really nice tap to set Austria up for 2. And Marcus Schagerl will hit the guard and just be content with the deuce. In the third end, Per Norén had a tricky shot lined up for him. Hack weight, red onto yellow, onto the red. It's a beautiful shot for Sweden to score 2 and get a 3-2 lead. And in the fourth end, just before the half-time break, Anna Weghuber tries to slash that red one in. It gets a really good result, but it was in the end Sweden that picked up a steal, and they have a 4-2 lead with half the game played. And here we are with the second half of the game. Per Norén has made some beautiful come-around freezes with his first. But both teams seems to struggle with the draws a bit more coming this way. And he is not happy with the way he threw that. Will just sit beside the red. And beside the stone, is it normally where you want to freeze? So it's a good, a really good situation here for Anna Weghuber. I know that it's very tempting to freeze the shot rock here. But remember, it's still gonna, if your opponent then freezes or taps, it's gonna be very tight in that 1 foot area. So maybe leaving this just top 8 foot is definitely gonna create some more trouble. So hoping that's what they're going for. She will chip on the guard. Doesn't end up in the worst spot. Remember, they do have hammer. However, button is still available for Sweden and Camilla Johansson.
Taking a look elsewhere in the Ice Cube Curling Centre, we see Latvia dominating Slovenia 8-0 after 4 rounds. Brazil taking up a battle with New Zealand, trailing by 2. New Zealand scored 5 in the fourth end to make it a 6 shots to 4 game. So Brazilians looking pretty good before that 5 came up, but still 4 ends to go. Team Italy in the lead 3 shots to 2 over China, and just next to our sheet we saw Norway pick up 4 in the fourth end, now leading 7 shots to 2 over Team Finland.
Ja, kanske, men det är ju inte nära att komma upp dit eller. Man ska köra 1,5 sten till för att komma dit.
Ja.
Och det, så hård är han ju inte eller. Det knackar ju inte ens han förbi 10.
Nej.
Sauber. Sauber, Achtung. Ja, 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 ja. Ja, fest Linie, fest, fest, fest. Fest.
So we have seen position swap. Switch.
Change.
Yes. Whatever you like to call it. There, it's now Marcus Schagerl throwing rocks 2, 3, and 4 for Austria. Why would you want to switch positions during the game?
Well, if you feel like things aren't really working out, sometimes just changing it up seemed to help. It's worth a try anyway. Or sometimes maybe the player throwing shots 1 and 5, not feeling like they have the draw weight, not making those shots, and they want to try and make a switch to see if the other player can make them. That angle tap, not quite coming off for Sweden. Can you remember seeing Sweden ever make a change up in the lineup?
No, this team is pretty consistent with the way they play. And I think it's both, well, it's good and bad with the change in position. It can be good if you're dedicated to really play and practice your position like you would in a regular curling game. But of course, as Sander says, it's also good to have the option to change things up. And after several attempts from everyone on the ice, we now have a stone frozen onto the short one. That was a nice shot by Marcus. Sweden's playing the same weight again, gonna try and get to the nose and tap the back one back, leaving Austria sitting only one. Remember, it's Austria with the last stone advantage here in the fifth end.
Det där var mycket försiktigare satt.
Ja, men alltså jag har ju mitt på vitt nu.
Wir können entweder den oder probieren oder gescheiter ist, wenn wir den da anfreezen.
Some insecurities in the Swedish team, whether the stones on this sheet might not curl as much.
Schauen wir, dass wir da liegen bleiben und wenn angeht,
Well, like we were discussing yesterday, over a course of a week at a championship, you might see some of the curl come off the stones, and the ice tend to straighten out a little bit. I'm not sure if that's happening, or maybe the stones here does curl less than whatever stones we were playing with yesterday.
Zu früh. Da finde ich auch gut. Oder da.
Ich hätte ihn eigentlich gerne im Roten, oder nicht?
Ja, ich will noch nicht zu weit für
I'd say it's pretty normal for
maximal da, aber wenn
an
da
ice band to
bleibt,
straighten
ist
out during a course of a game, at least. You'll see often a lot more curling practice. And when you break down the pebble and sweep a little bit, you might sweep the curl off of you a bit.
Definitely. See if Austria can find the right amount of curl for Marcus Shargirl's draw here. And do you think it's just a straight draw, or are they looking for some sort of movement on the yellow?
Well, if they get a good line, they might want to do that.
Könnte länger sein.
Nice to
Da muss am Göben
be
drauf.
sitting a couple.
Ja, wow.
This one seems to be hanging out a little bit though,
Up.
and
Curl,
does have a bit of pace on it. Well,
Okay. Och så kan jag.
again,
Sen om vi styr på den så, eller hur vi gör, vill jag in med den här.
stones in front of the D-line.
Ja, precis. Vi
Might
kan
be
göra
able to
två också.
shoot that in somehow.
Ska det ligga kvar.
Right now there's a shot for 3 at least.
Ja.
Yeah, and Pan Norén just
Jag vill ha
said,
lite mindre nu, för var inte ens gått nära garden.
Här har
whatever we
varit
do,
på dig förut på dragen.
we need to get one in there.
Ta här då.
They're gonna try and draw, and they might use that back red for backing. I'm not sure.
I think corner freezing the shots on here will be pretty good.
Yeah, definitely. Just make sure it's difficult for Austria to score more than one. Remember, Sweden's 2 points up. Giving up 1 or 2 isn't the end of the world, but you certainly don't want to give up more. Final shot of the end for Sweden.
Ja, gärna kalla, måste kalla.
They're still not getting the amount of curl they're hoping for. Just waiting for this to dig in.
Well,
Då är det frågan om inte curlen har...
Ja, du musst mit so einer
För den här gör jag också
Decklen.
jätteförsiktig.
Och das reicht eigentlich die Länge. Nein, eine Länge reicht.
sometimes you just need to trust what you're seeing.
Gerade dass er ein bisschen stirbt.
Yes,
Ach so, dass man
and
gleich so
there's a
früh-
lot of maybe You get worried when you're not sure about the ice?
Yeah.
Can that affect your performance?
Of course, again, you're second guessing yourself, and you know, sometimes, like I said, just trust what you're seeing in the ice. Maybe the ice is straightened out instead of looking at yourself thinking you're doing something wrong. Right now it seems like they're discussing how they're releasing the rocks and so on, but I'd say maybe the ice is just straightening out a little bit and they need to pick up on it.
Yeah, so Austria has a shot for 3, I think. It doesn't look like they can get that yellow one completely out of the forefoot, so should be for 3 only, but 3 is still quite a big score.
Yeah, that would put Austria in the lead.
So now it is Anna Wegehuber throwing the final stone of the end.
Ja, sauber. Ja, voll durch. Jetzt fest. Fest. Up.
And they've given up on this. It's all over the guard, really over curling. So if Sweden's stones are running too straight, that's surely not the case for Austria.
Sorry.
They will pick up 1.
Har vi en i drukt?
Was
Max nummer? Okay. Ai. Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit disappointing for Austria. Good chance of grabbing a lead after 5, but now still trailing by 1. Sweden with a good chance to score a couple in the 6th end with the last stood advantage. Do you feel like scoring in the even ends makes just as big of a difference as in regular curling?
Maybe not as big of a difference because, well, as you see the setup, it's easier to steal in mixed doubles, I would say, than in a normal game of curling. But I think everyone still prefers the hammer, and so having it in the even ends is certainly still an advantage.
Comes past the guard this time. Really heavy though, so I think Johansson's going to try and sweep it through, and that would be a violation of the rules. And they will have to replace that yellow because you're not allowed to remove any stones from play until the 4th played rock in the end. So bit of a mistake there. We haven't seen that too many times.
No, I haven't seen it. Well, this week I haven't seen it at all, but the week has only started.
Well, that gives you a clear example of how much the ice curls, at least, when you're able
definitely
to tap it all the way out.
So Panoren, if he can put this just top 8 foot, it would be absolutely perfect. Really make it tight to draw around for Austria, and kind of difficult for them to know where to put this. This one, however, seems to be all the way down there.
Yeah, didn't need to move the yellow there, just stopping a couple feet short of it would have been better, but
it's just because Austria can still freeze here, and if with the perfect freeze, the advantage of being allowed a free stone that the Swedish team actually was, it's kind of gone if Marcus makes this absolutely perfect.
Länges 8.
Sauber.
Sicher.
Ja, wow.
Eis länger.
Nein, sehr weit. Sehr weit. Na, gar nichts.
That's a really good show, and I think moves that back to the tee, creates that little pocket.
Yeah, and now it's back advantage Austria, I would say they have a really useful rock, just top button and a pocket.
So I think Sweden's going to try and tap it out of the forefoot. Panoren just saying that even if you corner freeze the red, it's pretty good. But surely not the same line for the tap and the corner freeze.
No.
Sometimes I think too many options, it's not going to work out too well. This one over curling. It's going to tap the red back onto the back yellow, but at least taps the yellow one back far enough for there not to be real.
It's good they had enough weight to really tap it back. I was thinking, what if you were to go really tight to the guard and open, maybe tick the guard or take the guard off in that situation? You have that stone. It's not too complicated. One shot up.
We saw Team Canada implement that tactic yesterday. Well, they were trying to play the run backs, but even just opening the guards made the end a lot easier. But I'd say that was a good result for Sweden. Put that yellow stone top of the four in a really nice spot. The red stone, red shot stone, really vulnerable right there. A lot of yellows in play.
Med kinderne da her. Spyn.
Ja.
Finde ich auch gut.
Oder lieber von da, weil falls es lang ist, haben wir Auflauf.
Ja, aber ich finde es gar nicht schlecht, wenn er da so liegen bleibt und auch wenn er länger ist und den daher schiebt.
Okay. 4, 5, 5. Sehr schnell, oder?
Was?
Der geht durch. Kann man da antickeln lassen, wenn der nur curlt? Drück nur daher. Ja. Ja, 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 ja.
Ja, der passt da.
Well, he's able to sneak his way in there, lying two.
I think it's a nice shot.
Well, Camilla Johansson
Vi
saying
spelar
she can
antingen
put.
eller då, för får du tunn träff på den här så kommer han studsa dit.
She says she can see a third of the red stone just played by Marcus, and if she can hit a third or a quarter even.
Yeah, and if I think their option is to wreck on the guard, like play it tight, either get the double or get the guard off. She's up really fast to sweep it too. Oh, did you put this back a little bit?
Oh, way past the guard.
Ooh, yeah, not the best result. Really, the way to miss that one was tight.
Oder wenn der...
Nej, men den, jag vet inte, den vandrar hela banan.
Sie können immer nur da herlegen,
And I think
aber
if
das geht dann, glaube ich, auch.
maybe come the same way here, just put it top of the button.
Aber wenn Sie den
Lie
spielen,
3.
bleibt der immer noch liegen, oder?
They're looking pretty good. They're thinking maybe the end turn as well.
Ja.
Wenn Sie daher spielen, geht der entweder an.
Or are they thinking removing any else?
Da.
No, I think they're just discussing what happens if Sweden blasts on the
Er kann auf 3
intern
auch
side.
liegen.
Ja?
Die Richtung ist wichtig.
I'm again back, like, if Sweden with Camilla's first, still if they would have taken the guard off then, do you think they would have been in this type of trouble?
I don't think so. And I think it's
It's
a call
easy
very easily
yeah.
ignored.
Yes, and it's easy to be smart in hindsight.
Oh yes, we are experts in that,
Of course.
Ja, ich glaub,
But I'd like to see more teams look at that option, especially when they're up in the game.
Yeah, even the tick shot you can play. Even when you're not allowed to remove the stones, you can just tick it open. Or at least you play a tap and you play it tight to the guard. Keep it as an option. You'll see the draw from Austria come up a little bit short, didn't quite get the line for it, but Still not in a bad spot.
Sätta den här så här. Då försvinner ju förmodligen båda de här. Om man sätter den där chapp.
Sweden's going to call a timeout here. Haven't seen that well so far this week either in our live coverage. We will of course have a timeout, and
Mikael Andersson is going to come down.
Who is he?
He is a club mate. He plays for the same club, and he also coached them last year. Let's listen to what they have to say.
Nej, men den här ska ju träffa den här så att den här vickar
jag
av.
Det, men om vi träffar den för mycket så...
Ja, men då får ju hellre sätta en chapp så han blåser förbi. Då har man ju en chans till att skjuta in den.
Ja. Ja, precis.
Eller spela en utsida på den här.
All the way down through the labyrinth from the coach bench.
Ja, lite utsida på den här, alltså för att försöka få den här. Det är risk att bägge de här försvinner. Den här finns också. Sätter han en utsida här, då ligger de med en här, men då ligger den förmodligen fryst på den här. Och skulle vi chappa den här, då har man ju det slaget till nästa. Man kan ju spela den här också, trycka den här, men kommer vi inte upp så vi trycker den hit. Och de lägger dit den här, då...
Vi går på den här ändå då. För om vi skulle chappa den då, som du säger, så har vi en möjlighet på den. Garderar de där så har vi trycken på den där.
Den här, trycka den här. Så. Så ja, att han går ut så här ja. Vi spelar så här då. Samma fart, men alternativet är att chappa.
Ja.
So I think there's two options really here. It's the takeout on the right hand side. And you try and make contact with the back red. You could play the in-turn tap on your yellow, switch gears, get it in there. If you make it perfect, you're golden, but a bit more risk to that shot if you don't pull it off.
You're facing four?
Yeah, you're not really left with a lot. So Sweden's going to play the double. Tolerance being a nose hit, just to keep the shooter around so they can use it for later. And, I like this call.
Shouldn't be too far off.
That's really good. Wow. And it's going to leave Sweden sitting 2, 3, and 4.
Yeah, that is a nice shot by Camilla.
It's going to put some pressure on Austria, that's for sure. Doesn't quite leave the shooter in a promotional spot, but did the initial plan. And doesn't even get rid of the back yellow. Squirts it through the hole. Very accurate curling.
Yep, I think she can really throw up weight. Very accurate. It's such a big advantage in mixed doubles when you have both players that can make all types of shots. And Austria follows with the nice one.
Yeah, I'd say that's a really good shot actually. Sitting first and third shot. Not exposing too much of the shot stone either, and I'm not sure if there's a shot to score more than one here for Pärnoren.
No, they're just going to draw and need the button for one. It's just same draw that he's played before, but this time with no backing, of course.
So a cool draw to the pin for the single here, Sweden. Leading by 1.
Yeah, important shot for the game here. Don't really want to give up a steal. Lose control of the game.
Yeah, lose control of the even ends too, perhaps.
Last zone of the 6th end. Need the piece of the 1 foot. Both players up to sweep.
Looking pretty close. We snag a piece of the 1 foot here. I think so. Looking.
Got it, that.
Anything else happening out there, Sarah?
Well, there's lots happening, Sander. We have 4 other games going on. Latvia has a 9-2 lead over Slovenia. New Zealand is up 8-5 over Brazil. It's a tied game at 3 each between Italy and China. And Norway has an 8-3 lead playing Finland. %75% in the tournament and also in this game for Per Norén. So especially we've seen him make some beautiful draws.
Yep.
He just drew the button on the other side of the sheet, and here you go again, making this look easy.
Oj, hur fan håller på dörr.
But he is tired from the sweeping.
Förra tog den, ska få dit.
Tyckte också att den såg klen ut.
Hur fan varför vi kom här?
Anna V. Cooper is going to follow. And again, they've been really good with when Per has made these perfect freezes, they've tapped them apart a little bit, which is a really, really good result. Make sure that there's no backing and stay frozen yourself. Look at this. It's a great shot.
Yeah, 2 beauties to start the 7th end.
Prova spela här och peta deras lite. Eller snedfrysa den. Det är helt okej.
Corner freeze or all Sweden. Camilla Johansson with the end turn.
Gärna köla.
Ja, vad fina.
Ja, ingenting än. Var med. Nej, ingenting. 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 Ja, jättebra.
Taps the frozen one off. And there is a slight angle between the yellows. Seems like Austria can get rid of both. Looks like the yellow is just going to go straight through the hole.
Der geht hoffentlich da durch.
Okay.
%66% means that Marcus is playing better and better.
There we go.
That's a really nice shot too. Always need to be careful what angles you leave.
Normal. Det jag skulle göra den här är det helt okej. Kom med.
Another double back-to-back here in the 7th end. Camilla Johansson.
Yeah, she doesn't manage to leave her shooter in such a great spot, but if she was going to make the double, she never was going to leave her shooter in a good spot. So just taking a look at the scoreboard here, Sweden's up by 2 points, so might as well get rid of as many Austrian counters as possible.
Yeah, the last red stone in the house for Austria, also fairly in the open. Marcus Schagel wanting to hide this one though.
I think they're going to try and touch their own, because he's got way too much weight on this one. It's all the way through.
Yeah, that's never an option.
No, now all of a sudden Austria were lying 3, and we're going to be looking at Sweden lying 2 instead. Some struggles for Camilla in this game. We know that the Swedes have struggled with the ice, where to put the broom, and she's on 50%.
Jag vill ha en kvar där ute.
Sweden saying they weren't looking to roll in behind the guard because they'd be pretty much in behind the T line, just allowing Austria to freeze onto it. So wanting to stay in the open, forcing Austria to play the hit and roll instead of the freeze, which is, let's say, a lot tougher of a shot. And they'll be left with no backing. This one catching the high side, rolling out. I think we saw this early on in the game. Maybe Marcus overthrowing the takeouts, throwing a bit more weight than needed.
Yeah, when it's so important to hang around with your shooter, sometimes it's better to bring the weight down. Sweden can now draw around here instead. Again, really important to be, well, last stone, so just make sure it's good. Last one for Sweden.
Just make sure it's somewhere.
Yes. Somewhere in behind the guard would be nice, make it harder for Austria to score.
Yeah. I don't think they would mind trying to steal here. Just nibble the 1 foot, and I think that's, well, maybe 1 foot deep, but still a pretty good shot for Sweden.
Yeah, he seems to really have his butt on weight. But just as you said, if that is just on the full top 4 foot, it's so much more difficult for Austria to tap it, because now they can pretty much just play the freeze and sweep it the last bit to score the 1.
And Big Hoover with the outturn. Just looking to move the half a rock. Score the 1. Tighten up the score line a little bit. Hanging out there so far, looking for this one to finish. Will it finish enough?
Looking very good. Or is it?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, good enough for sure. And Austria scores 1.
Okay. 5-4.
Ja, müssen wir anstellen.
Anstand. Spielen wir so wie vorher, Avi, das war voll gut. Sorry. Yes. There you go.
So, 1 end to go. Sweden has a 1-point lead and a hammer. So Austria is really going to need to go all out for the steal here. She can lock this on. Such a great start in an end where you really need to steal. She can have a guard
She gonna
backing.
tap this one through again?
And oh, she has.
Wow.
And she is laughing, but that is not going to help them.
Yeah, it's been, I've seen that a few times from Anna. Just a little tight and heavy, always bumping back the shot stone a lot. Well,
this is also, the time to look at the scoreboard. You have to steal. If you put another guard up there, it's still fine.
Yep, for sure. Short would be okay there. And for Parnoren, can't really drop this one too short, but don't want to be heavy either, so she really wants to be perfect with it. Top of the forefoot, perhaps, would be pretty good.
Top of the forefoot would be good.
Top of the
Playing
eight.
a bit more weight and taking the guard away would also be a really nice shot, is what you would do in a regular curling game, perhaps. Well, there's also backing, I guess, but...
Jag tyckte hände någonting lite på den där, för så där löst kändes den inte. Jag tänkte säga inte, och när han dök då, det kanske inte fanns fart då.
Maybe a little bit short, so Marcus will have a chance to make the freeze now.
Yeah, only needs to steal one for the extra end here. Austria.
There's an gum. Whoa.
And this one also curling a lot.
It's on the yellow one in the top 12 foot.
Well,
taps the yellow one to a pretty nice spot for Austria.
would you ever consider peeling the center guard?
Yes, I would consider it, because the center guard is something that Austria loves to have around, and they will always have the option to either tap or draw around, and I think the center guard complicates things. What would you like to do?
I like to peel on the center guard. Makes it a lot easier. And you're most likely going to be left a shot to win the game. Obviously, you can try and outplay Austria, just placing your draws in the right spots. But one missed shot, and you're leaving Austria an opportunity to get in there.
Yeah, one missed shot, or even just one really good shot from Austria, and it's not going to be impossible, but it's going to be way more difficult than what it has to be.
And this one a little heavy as well, splitting the shot stone, leaving a bit pocket in the forefoot. That's not the option. At least push it far enough for there to be a little bit of room, but not ideal. Seems like a lot of the mixed doubles teams, again, just so focused on playing the draws into the forefoot, and with that rule where you're not allowed to hit stones in the early end, you just seem to forget about their actually being allowed to hit the guards. Seems like they forget that's an option.
Yes, yeah, well...
Because they're not even discussing it.
No, and I think it's a case of most of the teams out here, because it's such an aggressive game, you always go for the aggressive call, but right now it's one end, you have hammer, you're one up. Just think of it as a regular game of curling.
Whoa, yeah. Fast. Whoa.
Yeah, that's going to end up in a really nice spot actually for Austria, frozen onto the yellow. Leaves the one foot open, but
get to see Parnoren draw the button again. And now they are peeling. I think they're going to try and get the double off the reds. Try and get as much granite moving as possible. Open everything up.
Get on!
well, that's a really good shot by Camilla Johansson.
Very nice. Still the red shot stone, but now it's wide open.
So maybe one shot too late for me. Better late than never.
Genau auf die Center.
Austria lying shot here. Don't think there's going to be a realistic chance of stealing two. Maybe if this was the last stroke, they could have frozen their own red and hope for a miss. But I think they're going to put up their guard and see what risk they want to take.
I need a good guard here.
Das geht so nicht mehr aus.
Even if they were to guard just the center line, it's still going to be a possibility for them to put a better shot stone in there. But this one is, yeah, just like Anna said, it's a really long guard.
I'm sorry, that's not very close at all. That is a good 15 feet heavy, at least.
Yeah, that is sometimes the trouble when you play the first and the fifth shot. If you don't really have your draw weight, you'd never really get any consistency with throwing. But he was really heavy with his draw in the final end as well.
Well, that's
it's wide open now for Sweden. They didn't need to peel the guard.
See if Johansson can catch this red one thin enough to remove it.
Yep! Yep! Stenhårt! Stenhårt!
Well, it's not going to move it all the way out, but will leave Sweden lying shot stone and spins it out the forefoot. So things are looking really open for the Swedes.
Yeah, Austria discussing the options of either nosing and sitting two, hope Sweden rolls out if they hit, or freezing.
Ja, von innen haben wir nie gespielt.
Yeah, I don't mind that actually. The nose hit.
Da mal jetzt noch mal gescheit
I think
kommunizieren.
Und andererseits, wenn weg ist und wir liegen zweimal.
we've seen
Wenn der weg ist und wir liegen zweimal,
we've seen Parnoyan play a lot of nice draws, maybe force him to
dann
play a
müssen sie
hit
zumindest anbringen.
on this last one.
Wenn nicht kommt, ist es vorbei.
But
Ja,
again,
dann spielen
Und
wir ab.
ob's jetzt
Aber dann spielen
really
wir.
down to what
auch wenn er da
Anna's
freeze
most
liegt.
comfortable with.
muss er auch da herlegen. Wenn er da liegt, muss er auch herlegen. Es ändert eigentlich
Können wir
nicht
dann
viel.
wenigstens von dieser Seite spielen?
Tu den einmal weg, dann haben wir
So,
zumindest
aber
noch.
gib mal ein bisschen mehr. Ist das die Curly-Seite?
Both teams with plenty of time, because
Okay.
either way, but remember it's thinking time now, so it will stop when the player slides out.
Yep, when you cross the tee line, your time will stop ticking. And we're down to the last stone of the 8th end as well for Austria. If you were to get an extra end, both teams would get more time.
Kann ich ein bisschen mehr haben?
Clocks would be reset.
Normal, okay? Das ist jetzt wichtig.
It is important. They have elected the nose hit, trying to make Panorean hit rather than draw.
Aber geht er weg?
Maybe Anna Weghuber a little bit heavy on her takeout weight as well. Going to stay high, doubles off the yellows, rolls out though, that's the problem. Leaving
Yes.
only one red in there, and that's going to leave Sweden with a chance to just play the hit, just make contact with the red for the win here, Parnoren. And no chance of losing the game.
Vielleicht gehen sie auch. Ja.
Yeah, this is a fairly straightforward shot for Pat. Just need contact with the red for a win. Camilla is happy with the line. Just cleaning this. There you go. Sweden will pick up their third win out of 3 games, and Austria will drop to 1 and 2. We will, if you stick around, we're going to give you an interview with the Swedish team and, of course, some highlights from this game between Sweden and Austria with the final score 6-4. Sweden wins this game.
Jag vet att jag kommer inte spela normal.
In this third draw for this group, it's Sweden against Austria. Panarin has a tricky tap to perhaps score 2. He won't really tap it far enough, but a nice draw for 1 point in the first end for Sweden. And in the second end, Anna Wegehuber for Austria made a really nice tap, setting them up to score 2. And even with the Recken in the guard, that's what they will do, and they will have a 2-1 lead after 2 ends. And take a look at all of the angles here. Sweden is playing yellow. They have the last stone in the third end, and it's Panarin with this double tap, and it is for a score of 2. Really nice shot by the Swedish player. Sweden will take a 3-2 lead after 3 ends. And in the fourth end, it was Sweden that got away with the steal, but after Anna Wegehuber made this really nice in slash, Sweden steals 1 point and they will lead the game 4-2. In the sixth end, it's only 1 point different, and Per needs the button for the point, and he's got it just perfect. 5-3 for Sweden after 6. And it is again Sweden with the rock on the button before Anna Wegehuber's final stone. She managed to tap it just far enough to pick up a point. Now only trailing by 1 before the 8th end, where everything opened up and Panarin only needed to make contact with the red to remove it, pick up the point, and to pick up the win. Sweden moves on to 3 straight wins. Austria will drop down to 1 win and 2 losses. Stay with us for an interview, and at 5:45 local time Sochi tonight, we will bring you the game between Spain and Scotland.
Third win for Sweden. Things are looking good.
Yeah, it's a good start with 3 wins, so we're happy.
Yeah, we're very happy for 3 wins, but we have a little problem with the lanes. Different speed on the sides. So, but we try to do the best.
You've been here, well, at the mixed doubles a couple of times before. How does the experience help you at the competition?
I don't know, but we've been here before, and that's obvious a help for us. You know the routines around the games better, so
we know what we do on the arena, and we have no problems with where we go and something like that. And we feel comfortable when we play before we do that every 3 times a road.
2 silver medals before. Are you guys looking at gold this time?
I don't know. We must go to the playoff first, then we see.
Yeah, the goal is I don't know what to say, but we're going for the goal if we had a chance.
It's more a better team. Every year you play, it's come more and more better team. Every country's been better every year. So it's, I think we must go to the playoffs first, then we see.
Well, thank you very much and congratulations again.
Thank you.
Jag blandar lite svensk